So MeowMeow was killed here near Alabama in Springfield in Huntington Beach. And let me show you an overview of all of this right here. These are suburban coyotes that did this, and I want to show you why that is. We have to go, this is where the wetlands pack is, and that's the only possibility of it being natural habitat coyotes. And you can see how far away that is. The wetlands pack will come on this golf course and everything. It gets a little closer, but it's just, you don't have the wetlands pack ever showing up here. It just doesn't happen. So you're looking at a attack on a cat by suburban coyotes who are scavengers. The wetlands pack, or natural habitat coyotes, are professional killers. So we're not at all surprised when, if a cat is out over here, we expect the cat's going to be killed. It's, pretty quick. But for scavenger coyotes to do it, that's, it happens. I mean, often you can see scavenger coyotes or your local coyote with cats in their mouths, and it's because cats are killed all the time, so they're scavenging. So it doesn't happen all that often. It's hardly ever confirmed that a suburban coyote, which is your local coyote, kills a cat. And that has happened, though, this time. This time we do have confirmation. We have a good witness. A man named Merrick saw it, and there's evidence left behind. I went into this neighborhood about 9 hours after the attack. And so let me show you what I found, because we understand, really, these attacks are actually very easy to understand how they happen, and it's not as serious as you think. So if you just understand them, you understand why they happen, and it's not what you think. So we have okay, hold on. Here. Okay. All right. So we have, okay, this is where it happened right here in Alabama. This is where MeowMeow was attacked. And there is evidence left behind, and I'm going to show you that. First, let me show you the rest of this neighborhood. I found a cat. This is 9 hours after the attack. I found a cat sleeping here, right there. That's his spot. And, the coyotes that come here, the local coyotes, they know about this guy. They could get this guy. They could try to get this guy anytime they want, and they don't mess with him. Also, there's a tomcat that lives here. I didn't see him, but the neighbors told me about him. And so he's also, I'm sure he just walks around. I do also go through this neighborhood a lot, but I've never looked, really hard at it right here, what's going on. But, this cat just walks around, I'm sure. The coyotes don't bother him, these suburban coyotes don't bother him. Also, over here is some kind of aggressive cat that tries to lure you into petting her or him and then scratches you. So I was walking by my husky. I didn't see this cat I was looking for. I wanted to see if the cat was showing aggression to my husky. And wasn't there, but I'll be going through that neighborhood some more, and I'll let you know if there's even an attack cat right here, which is kind of amazing if that's the case. So here's that cat I pointed out earlier that I saw, and as you can see, this is him looking at me. This is what this cat would be doing when a coyote or a pair of coyotes walks by. Right here, look at him just like this, just like he's looking at me. And that's his spot, and the coyotes know about this completely. And looks like a big cat. The coyotes don't want to mess with anything like this, any kind of full-grown or able-bodied cat like this. The local coyote doesn't. This would be different if it was near the natural habitat, but a place like this with just scavengers, they don't want to deal with anybody like this. And Looks like an older cat. If at some point in the future, this guy's finishing his life and his kidneys are failing, the local coyotes will be able to smell that, in which case they'll take this guy. So, what do you think the proper cause of death is in a case like that? I say it's kidney failure and not coyote attack. So we'll talk more on that in a second. Well, this is where the attack took place. This is all that was there, and it's a lot. You can see here is MeowMeow's blood and fur right there. This just shows that the attack took place, and I'm kind of amazed at how much hemorrhaging there was. But the fur came off right there. That, I don't know. That's, well, this is the evidence of the attack right there. Not sure what to think about that. But I don't know if his fur was automatically, just already just coming off, and so it came off real easy, or if it was a direct result of the attack, or what. But there's a lot of blood there and a lot of fur. And Daphne went all throughout there. It's kind of like this rural kind of, front yard there, and Daphne went all throughout. He couldn't find anything else. Daphne, that's my cat-centric dog right there that you see. So this is all there was, and that shows, it must have been terrible. A neighbor described MeowMeow as small and skinny and raggedy. Eric, who knew this cat and fed this cat, even though MeowMeow actually was the responsibility of other neighbors, agrees with this description. Small and skinny means underweight, which indicates that MeowMeow has lost weight. It's a very bad sign for the cat's health when a cat that's being fed regularly loses weight. And raggedy means that MeowMeow was not engaged in normal cat grooming. This is also a very bad sign for a cat's health. Eric also volunteered that MeowMeow was losing fur abnormally. Yet another very bad sign for a cat's health. What are the possible diseases or disorders that would account for this description? In the past, when I've investigated local coyote attacks like this, I find that telltale dead sleep description that cats enter when going into chronic renal failure. With MeowMeow, no one is describing this sleep. It doesn't mean that it wasn't happening anyway, though. MeowMeow was not allowed in the houses and spend his time out of sight. Maybe this was chronic renal failure. Coyotes seem to be able to smell a cat that is going through chronic renal failure. Another possibility is mouth cancer. Cats with mouth cancer will no longer groom themselves. I have never seen any evidence to indicate that coyotes can smell cancer in a cat, though. Possibly they can't smell cancer, or maybe they just haven't learned to do that yet. And losing clumps of fur could indicate diabetes. And if he was getting really skinny, that might indicate a thyroid condition. All of these possibilities are terminal in the ecosystem. Perhaps a veterinarian can chime in on this if like to add anything to this. Even if we can't know for sure what was wrong with MeowMeow, there's no way that MeowMeow was an able-bodied cat. And almost certainly, MeowMeow, without medical intervention, was terminal at the time that he was taken by these local coyotes. You see these guys? These are Cape buffalo in Africa. Every last one of these guys is going to be killed by lions. In their full-grown and able-bodied state, they will do the killing when it comes to lions, and lions stay away from them. These guys won't waste any time killing you either, so run if you see one. You see what I'm getting at? It doesn't mean anything that lions will one day eat these guys. We already know that, so that's not the cause of death. Isn't it obvious that somehow that's what's supposed to happen? The cause of death is whatever weakened them so that the lions could finish them off. That could be tuberculosis, anything that causes some organ failure or some kind of injury. The lions are only going to finish them off. The cause of death is whatever caused them to be so weak as to not be able to fight off the lions. With suburban coyotes, it's the same situation. The miniature coyotes that we have in Southern California weigh 18 pounds. There are tomcats out there that weigh that. If a weakened cat remains outside of your home, thus putting them into the suburban ecosystem, you can expect them to be taken by a coyote. The cause of death isn't the coyote, but what put them into that weakened state. Bear in mind that I'm not talking about cats being outside near a natural habitat. A full-grown and able-bodied cat is safe around professional scavengers, but not safe around a pack of professional killers. The terminally ill MeowMeow was simply finished off by this pair of scavengers. That's why I feel this should be called a scavenging event. Look at it from the point of view of the coyotes. They know MeowMeow is about to die. They'd probably like to wait until MeowMeow is totally not moving anymore to be totally safe. But the coyotes know that other coyotes know about MeowMeow's impending demise. They have to weigh out the danger of safety versus the risk of losing the prize to another coyote. They decided that it was time for MeowMeow. So it's really specious to say that suburban coyotes are hunting domestic cats. They are not. I have just one final comment to make about this incident with MeowMeow. I'd like to talk about what I would do if I was faced with something like that, where I came upon a coyote attacking, especially if it's a suburban coyote, attacking a cat, such as what happened with MeowMeow. If it were me, I would chase after that coyote. I mean, I'd be right on that coyote's tail. Now, I chase them all the time. Whenever I run into them, I chase them. And for blocks, me and my dogs, we do this. I do it to see what will happen. And nothing does. They're just kind of amused, it seems like. But if it was the middle of the night and I heard something like this happening and, I saw it, and I would be right on their tail. And what I hear happens is that, I'd be screaming at them and everything to, drop it. And what I hear happens is when you do this, when they've got something in their mouths and they're running away, and you're running after them and you're screaming at them, I hear that they drop it and let you have it. I haven't had a chance to actually test this yet. I'm hoping one day to run into a coyote that has something, and I'll see, what happens. But that is what I would do. I'm not necessarily saying that you should do that, though. Although I don't think anything bad would happen if you did. That's based on my experience with these guys. I have never done this with any coyote off of the natural habitat, though. It's only been suburban coyotes. So, anyway, that's what I would do. And I just wanted to make that comment. So, be safe out there, you guys.